Shush, my phone. No, no. Gotta turn this on. Hi everyone, my name is Lotta and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do part 2 of my strange ass dreams, and yeah, so please, I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's do that. My second dream is kind of weird actually, even for me. So I am in this, we're walking to this party for this like grand family that's like in our village or something, and then everyone's like wearing their bunad, which if you don't know what a bunad is, I'll put a picture. This is a bunad. It is the Norwegian national suit. So yeah, Norwegian national suit, bunads on. Okay, you get what I'm saying, yeah. So it's a big thing. So we're having this party as an honor to like this rich family, and then I get to know their daughter, like this rich family's daughter, and she's like, oh, you want to come to our after party? It's like a special after party for only the richest families. And I'm like, sure, I'll go. It doesn't matter. Like, it's one-time opportunity, so I'm gonna do this. So I go there to the after party, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do our ritual, our traditions now. And so we go down to like their basement, and there's like this huge ice skating rink with like regular people on it. And then they're like, let's go get the spears. And then I'm like, what? And then they start throwing spears at people. So they're like standing there and aiming and they're like throwing them, and if you hit them in the hip, it's like this many points, and it was insane. And then this mom of this rich ass family, she's like, Lotta, like, you can go and get some more spears. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't want to throw any spears at people, so I'm gonna do that. And then I go over and I'm like getting these spears, and I go back and I'm like, here you go. And she's like, ah, these are not sharp enough. You need to sharpen them. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it because I don't want to be a party pooper. So I go over to sharpen this and then I'm like sucked into a different dimension. And I'm like, everything's like really colorful, and it's like me and 2 other girls, and I could only swim, and the other girl, no, wait. That's wrong. I could only fly. The other girl, she could only swim, and then the last girl could only walk. And we were like feeling that we need to save someone. I don't know how we knew this, but we just knew that we needed to go save someone. So we're like going, and I'm like flying, and there's like, it's difficult because like one of us can only walk, so we need to find a way for her to like get everywhere. And eventually we find this girl, and when we find this girl and save her, we're like sucked back into our dimension again. And then we are in a totally different place, and there's like Justin Bieber there, and he's like, oh, it was really nice of you to save that girl, and like, you want to come to my house so you can talk about your experience. And I'm like, sure, I mean, why not, you know? So I went to Justin Bieber's house, and he was asking us like really weird questions about it. He was like, oh yes, so yeah, how was it? How did it look? Like, was it dangerous? Were there people after you? Do you think you could do it again? And we were like, no one was after us, so I guess I could do it again. It wasn't that difficult. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, I get it. And then he was like, oh, you want to go in my limo? And we were like, yeah, we want to go in your limo. It's limo. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Let's do this. And then we go into his limo, and these 2 other girls, like, and this girl that was saved, they were like, oh, I gotta go. Like, I didn't know I had to go, so I'm gonna see y'all later. And then she just leaves, and I'm like, sure, I don't have anything to do, so I'm gonna just be here. And Justin and I, we get into his limo, and then we are like kissing, and we're like having fun, and he's just like, suddenly he's like, have fun, and then this portal goes into his limo floor, and like it's like sucking me in, and I'm like, shit, and then I'm like I'm gone, basically, into this portal, and I'm like in a different dimension again, but not like the same dimension I was in last time I went into a portal. So it was really weird. And then I like ended up there, and then I saw this like old man, and I went over to him and I was like, hey, what the is going on? I just came here. And he was like, you have been sent by the gods to deliver us from evil and defeat our evil woman lady, and I can become a mermaid at will, which I thought was really cool. So I have like these powers, and I'm like, psh, I'm a mermaid now, psh, I'm a human now, and it's really cool, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go save y'all from this person, this human being, this woman that is trying to take over your land. And then I'm like going over there, and I'm like, hey bitch, like we need to like discuss this, we need to get this over with. And then there's like this huge fight scene, because she's also like a mermaid lady, and I'm like, and I'm like using my powers against her, but she's like using her powers on me, so I'm like flying backwards, and it was an amazing fight scene, I'ma just tell you that. But then eventually I beat her, and she like turns into something, I don't even remember. She disappeared basically. And then like this dream, just fast forward like a lot. And then I'm talking to the same old guy, and he's like, well, you gotta remember that now that you've beaten this woman, people will try and get you. And I'm like, oh, great, that's exactly what I needed. But that's like, I was like, yeah, I get it, totally. And then I'm like walking on my way home. I'm like walking next to the road, just minding my own business. And then I see this car driving. I see this car, like a little like red car driving slowly. And I'm like, someone after me! So I run and I hide in a bush like next to the road. And he doesn't see me. And then further ahead, like in front of me, there's this girl. And this girl looks a lot like me. So I'm like, oh no, he's gonna think that's me, and he's gonna kidnap this poor girl when she's not even me, you know? Sorry, I need to stop to breathe. I just forget to breathe. Yes. And I'm like, can't let this guy like take this girl, because I mean, it's my fault that he's out here looking for me, and I can't let this guy take this poor girl. So I see this car driving next to this girl, right? And he stops. So the camera decided to stop recording, and I didn't notice until I was like in the middle of this story. So yeah, so he stops next to this girl, and he gets out of his car, and he just goes to this girl, and I'm like in the bushes, and I'm like, I can't let this girl be taken because he thinks I'm me. That she's me, right? So he's like going out, and I'm like running out of the bushes, and I'm like, stop! She's not me! I'm here! I'm the one you're looking for! I'm me! She's not me! I am! And then he's like looking back at me, and he's like, oh wait, I can totally see now. Duh. And this other girl, she's like walking away, and she's like running, and she's like, what the just happened? And then I'm like standing in front of this guy, and I see him like going to grab something, and I'm like, oh he's gonna grab something to kick my ass with. So he's like gonna hit me in the face, and I'm gonna die. So I just jump off this bridge that we're on, and I just jump off into this river underneath, and I'm like, I'm gonna swim away. So I'm like, I'm a mermaid now. And then I try to swim, but I'm stuck in something in this river, and I'm like, crap! What do I do now? And then I'm like trying to like flip my fin, and I'm like, help me! And then I'm just so stuck that this guy, this man that was chasing me, he has the time to grab like some kind of rope or something to like reel himself down this bridge and into the river, and he puts handcuffs on me, and I'm like, what do I do now? So I get loose with my tail, and I try to swim away like with him. So I'm like, I'm gonna just go bam! And then I tried to pull him with me, but for some reason I can't. And I'm like, what do I do now? So I'm like, okay, I'll just go with him so that I'll get his trust, and then I can try and get away later. So I'm just like being really nice, like having my hands in front of me, and I'm like walking, like hi, and we are walking, and I'm being such a good girl, like I'm being so good, and I'm like, y'all's bitch. So we move, we're like walking, and then we meet this woman, and she's like, have I seen you before? And I slip her this note, and I'm like, hand this to the Red Maids in Pirate Bay. They know who I am and they can save me. You know, like dramatic. And she's like, looking really weird at me, and she's like, okay. And then this woman is just walking next to me and this man that was chasing me. And then we're walking, and this guy that chases me, let's give him a name because I'm gonna talk to him about him a lot. He didn't have a name in my dream, but for this purpose we're gonna call him Matt. Okay, so me and Matt and then this woman are walking like next to each other, okay? And then Matt is like, we're going off the road here because we gotta go this way because you are my prisoner. And I'm like looking at him and I'm like, can we please go to Pirate Bay? Just so I can say goodbye to everyone, please. I promise I'll go with you after that, but I need to say goodbye to my friends. And I'm like being really cute, and he's like, okay, but just for a little while, just so you can say goodbye, and then we're leaving. And I'm like, thank you, good sir. And then we're just walking for a long time, and when we get to Pirate Bay, we walk in, and it's like a really cool place. I wish you could see it like in my head, but it's really freaking cool. There are like ships everywhere, there are like 4 or 5 ships, and then you have like different floors where you have some restaurants and a theater, and most of the people there are fish people. You can like imagine like if you've played Alice Madness Returns ever, and when you get to that place where everyone's a fish, it was basically like that, the people looked like that, okay? So yeah. And when we get there, I just walk in with my hands in handcuffs, and I just all of a sudden I yell, Red Maids! And then apparently that was a really big thing, because all of a sudden like tons of people like go over, like regular people, and they help me out of my handcuffs, and they kick the shit out of this Matt guy, and then we get into our ship, and we're just like trying to get away. But Matt has friends who are also looking for me, so they're like, we start this huge epic like ship scene where we're fighting and there's bombs and it's insane. And then they make our ship sink, and I'm like, Red Maids! Like on my boat there are only Red Maids, so they're women, and then there are only guys looking after us. And I don't know if that like is a sign of some sort, like the guys are always against me and the women are just on my side. I do not know. So I'm like, we have to get away. So all these girls are like turning into mermaids and swimming away. And then as I jump off the boat, something clutches onto my feet, onto my tail, and I'm like, shh, what is this? And then I see that I have chain. I have like this chain around my tail. They were sort of like weird handcuffs, so it was just like one handcuff around my tail. And then I tried to change into a person and like into having legs, so I'm like, you know, and then and they just turn into 2 handcuffs around my legs. So I'm like, what do I do now? Like I'm trying to resist, but they're like pulling me in with this chain, and they pull me into their boat, and I'm like stuck, and I woke up. So that was my Strange Ass Dreams Part 2. I hope you liked it. That one is the longest one. It is definitely the longest one. It's really complicated. It's a really complicated dream, and it was really long, and I apologize. So part 3 will be up soon. Yeah, I hope you liked it. Okay, thank you. Goodbye!